You don't need $1 million to start thinking like a billionaire. In fact, the people who become billionaires, many of them started with nothing. But here's the difference. They didn't wait to get rich to develop the mindset. They thought differently from the beginning. And that thinking, that's what built their wealth. So the real question isn't how do I make $1 billion? The real question is, how do I start thinking like someone who does? Because once your thinking changes, everything else starts to shift: your decisions, your habits, your income, and your future. In this video, we'll break down exactly how billionaires think so you can start building a life of purpose, abundance, and unstoppable momentum, starting from zero. Let's get into it. Most people operate from a scarcity mindset, the belief that there's never enough. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough opportunity. And when you live in scarcity, your decisions are based on fear. You hoard instead of invest. You play small instead of taking risks. You compete instead of collaborate. But billionaires, they think in terms of abundance. They believe there's always more value to create, more people to serve, more ways to win. Instead of saying, how can I keep what I have, they ask, how can I create more for others? That's the first major shift, moving from fearful preservation to creative expansion. And you don't need money to start thinking that way. You just need vision. The average person thinks about the weekend. A billionaire thinks about the next decade. That's not an exaggeration. When Jeff Bezos started Amazon, he was thinking 10 to 20 years ahead. Elon Musk isn't planning for next year, he's planning for Mars. This long-term thinking allows billionaires to do three things. Delay gratification. They're not obsessed with short-term pleasure. Take calculated risks. They're okay with short-term loss or long-term gain. Build legacy, not just income. They focus on impact and scale, not just salary. If you want to think like a billionaire, stop asking, what's the fastest way to make money? Start asking, what can I build today that will still matter 10 years from now? You don't need to be wealthy to think long-term, you just need discipline. Let's be clear. Billionaires don't get rich by working harder than everyone else. They get rich by using leverage. Leverage means using tools that amplify your output, and billionaires use three kinds. People leverage. They build teams, delegate, and hire talent. Capital leverage. They use money to make more money. Product leverage. They create systems or products that scale without trading time for money. Here's the takeaway. Stop thinking, how can I do more? Start thinking, how can I multiply my impact? Even if you're broke, you can start building systems, learning skills, and collaborating with others. That's leverage. That's thinking like a billionaire. Billionaires don't have all the answers, they just ask better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of, what's the easiest way out? They ask, what's the most valuable skill I can build here? Great questions lead to great solutions. Poor questions keep you stuck. So if you're serious about leveling up, start asking yourself, what am I uniquely good at? What's the biggest problem I can solve? Who benefits when I succeed? What would the future version of me do in this situation? Your growth begins the moment you get curious. Warren Buffett spends up to 80% of his day reading. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science from books. Oprah Winfrey credits her mindset to relentless personal development. Billionaires aren't just rich, they're obsessed with learning. They know this simple truth. Your brain is your biggest asset. The more you learn, the more you are not just in money, but in choices, confidence, and contribution. So start small. Read 10 pages a day. Listen to podcasts while commuting. Take free courses online. Join masterminds or growth communities. Being broke isn't a limitation. Staying ignorant is. If you feed your mind, it will feed your future. The average person fears failure. Billionaires expect it. Why? Because every failure brings data. Every mistake offers a lesson. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, said her father praised her for failing as a kid. It meant she was trying. Billionaire thinkers don't see failure as identity, they see it as feedback. So next time something doesn't work out, don't spiral. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? How is this preparing me for something bigger? Failures aren't roadblocks. They're stepping stones if you're brave enough to learn from them. One of the most underrated traits of billionaire thinkers, ownership. They take responsibility for everything in their life, even things that aren't their fault. Why? Because blaming others takes your power away. When you own your decisions, your results, your growth, you take back control. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a creator of outcomes. And here's the thing. You don't need a title or a company or $1 million to practice ownership. Start with your daily habits. Are you showing up fully? Are you making excuses or making moves? Are you blaming or are you building? Radical ownership is free, but it's rare. And it's one of the clearest signs you're thinking like a future billionaire. Here's a secret. Billionaires value time more than money, because money can be lost and earned again. Time, once it's gone, it's gone. They buy back their time by delegating low-value tasks, saying no to distractions, focusing only on high-impact work. Meanwhile, many people waste years doing things they hate for people they don't respect just to pay bills. Even if you're broke, you can start valuing your time. Stop saying yes to everything. Audit where your time really goes. Ask, is this moving me closer to the life I want? You don't need $1 billion to protect your calendar. Just start acting like your hours matter because they do. Most people are playing a finite game trying to win today. Look good this week. Impress others now. Billionaires think bigger. They're playing the infinite game focused on growth over ego, purpose over applause, legacy over likes. They don't care about looking rich. They care about being impactful. So stop chasing the quick win. Start playing the long game. Ask yourself, what kind of life am I building? What will I leave behind? Who will benefit from what I create? That's infinite thinking. That's billionaire thinking. Here's the truth that most people never hear. You don't need money to start thinking like a billionaire. You don't need connections, a fancy degree, or a perfect background. What you do need is the willingness to think differently, to question your beliefs, to invest in yourself, to act with vision, to fail forward, to take responsibility, to protect your time, to keep learning, to keep building. Because mindset doesn't follow money. Money follows mindset. So even if your bank account is empty, your future doesn't have to be. Start thinking like the person you want to become, and soon you'll start living the life you were meant to lead. If this message inspired you, don't just nod and scroll. Do something. Comment below. What's one billionaire mindset you're going to apply today? Hit the like button to let the algorithm know this was valuable. Subscribe for more content on mindset, growth, and personal transformation. And remember, you may not be rich yet, but if you think like one, you're already on the path. Think big, start small, move fast. See you in the next video.